go.
Did you guys understand what the tariff of abominations is?
The what?
The tariff of abomination.
No.
Okay, well, I'll explain. It was a protective tariff passed by the U.S. Congress around 1828. It was designed to protect industries in the northern United States. This is I think it affected history.
There you go.
It helped capitalism grow. Help us be able to develop the country.
I give you A for effort. It affected the American history by protecting the northern economy and forcing the South to buy northern goods rather than outside. Why is it important?
That's good because it brought the South down so the North could rise. And helped, I'm guessing, abolish slavery. In some sense.
It is important because the South viewed it as a delay in their economy and created more controversy, which later helped provoke the spurring of the Civil War.
Okay. So, do you know what the Lowell system is? Well, probably not. Because I'm only thinking that it probably had something to do with Lowell, Massachusetts.
Very good.
Close, yeah.
Very good.
It was the method of factory. It was a method of factory management. Wow. It made the textile mills more efficient and more profitable.
Oh.
Yeah.
And that would be in Lowell, Massachusetts, because they would do that.
Yes.
Yeah.
Why do you think that this is important?
Was it better for the factory owner or better for the workers?
Factory owner.
It was better for the factory.
How did I know that?
Well, it was better for the factory owner and people who were purchasing the products. Just not.
So it allowed them to sell textiles at a more reasonable price so they could sell more
Yes,
textiles.
but it also required the workers to work harder.
Why do you think that the Lowell system was important?
Well, I think it, you have to look at the good and the bad whenever you look at anything. You can take the good things and those can be something that you can build upon. The bad things you can look and you can still build upon them because what you can do is go, okay, this didn't work. How can we make this better and how can we improve and keep people safer?
Awesome.
Any idea what Alexander Hamilton's financial program was?
No.
Okay. Well, it was a plan to lower the national debt of America.
That seems to be working out great right now.
All right. How do you think it affected history?
I don't know. I'm still sitting at my house every day doing nothing.
Okay. So, how do you think it affected history?
Maybe you would have given them more information. That would have been nice.
Well, I mean, throughout history, we've always had a huge problem with national debt. Only a few actual presidents have been able. I mean, I know Hamilton wasn't the president, but only a few presidents have actually been able to combat the national debt. So I don't know. Maybe they took something from that potentially. I don't know.
Okay. Well, apparently it created the Democratic Republic and the Federalist parties.
Wow.
And the First National Bank.
Damn.
Yeah. So why was this important?
I think that. I mean, those things that it created were definitely really beneficial later in history. I mean, if a lot of the politicians had listened and followed through with the same things that they were put in place back then, we could have been in a better place.
Know what the Corwin Amendment is?
No.
I don't.
Okay. Well, the Corwin Amendment was a proposed amendment passed by the 36th Congress forbidding attempts to fix the Constitution to where the Congress would be able to abolish domestic institutions of the state, including slavery of all forms. In your opinion?
I think a lot of people probably don't know it exists, to be completely honest. For instance, me standing here right now. Well, I mean, it's one of those things that has to be put in place before actual social change can be put forward. So, I mean, it did affect, certain things after.
Why do you think this is important?
I think that's what makes America different. It's ruled by the people.
Yeah.
Yep.
by chance know what the halfway covenant is?
No.
No. Okay. Well, I will explain it to you. It is a church policy which was created by Puritans. Do you know who the Puritans were?
I think so.
Okay, they were religious people.
Yes.
Okay. The Puritans were stating that any child born under parents who were not part of a certain church but were baptized by the church could not have their children baptized. Meaning that their children could not be part of the church. Okay?
So have affected history.
I have no idea. I would think there'd be civil, unrest about that, as many history wars have been fought over religion. If you can't be part of a certain church, you kind of get upset. I don't know.
Very good. So, for a few years, it allowed people wanting to come into the Puritan faith but weren't born into it to be baptized, but prevented them from taking communion or voting in church matters. It also opened doors for the Great Awakening,
Which is good. Now, why do you think that this is important? It's okay.
Why do I think it's important that occurred?
Yeah.
Well, everything that occurs is important. Everything's connected.
Because it gave the hope that the Puritan preachers that it would maintain some of the church's influence in society.
That makes sense.
the Jacksonian democracy is? Okay, it is a political movement toward greater democracy for the common white man, also white supremacy. Do you have any idea of how this would have affected history?
Well, I think white people are more in power anyway, so I don't think it would have really done anything.
Well, it started a new era of politics and completed a grand social experiment that began by the American Revolution. Do you know why this would be important? It helped create the platform of the future Democratic Party.
Okay. So, the Washington Neutrality Proclamation.
Don't know anything about it.
That's okay. It was announced by and issued by George Washington.
Okay.
And it declared that the nation stays neutral in the conflict between France and Great Britain.
Okay.
How did this affect history, in your opinion?
Couldn't even give you anything about it, honestly.
Okay. Well, it prevented the U.S. from entering a war along with Great Britain, who we had just gained our independence.
Okay.
So why do you think that that was important?
Well, obviously, since we were paying taxes to Great Britain, we were pleased about that. So, separating from Great Britain allowed us to be able to expand as a country and be able to gain our own independence through that ability, basically.
Okay. Well, it was important because the U.S. was finally able to show that they could make their own decisions as a nation.
Okay. Okay.
Okay, so what is the United States versus Cruikshank case?
I have no idea.
Well, it was one of the earliest cases to deal with the state government's adoption of the 14th Amendment. The case took place due to the Colfax massacre, where 100 to 280 people were killed.
What was the 14th Amendment again?
I think this affected history.
Well, I mean, if it was debating the 14th Amendment, then it was very important that people actually upheld the 14th Amendment. Otherwise, everybody was just kind of like, screw the Irish, screw everyone else.
Okay, so why is this case important to history?
Because if they overturned the 14th Amendment, then there would be discrimination on the law against anybody else other than white people, the right white people.
Right.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Wait, hold on.
Yeah.
What do you think the result of the case was? Do you think that...
Well, I would imagine it was upheld the 14th Amendment.
No, it was not actually.
It was not?
No. What happened is the Supreme Court stated that it was the 14th Amendment only counted for states and not individuals' acts.
Oh.
So
And it was the KKK
they felt that the
actually did
14th
that.
Amendment was
Gotcha.
unconstitutional in this case.
Oh, hooray.
Fun fact.
Fun fact. Even better.
Do you know what the Wilmot Proviso is?
I do not know.
Okay. Well, it was a proposal that was made to establish peace navigated with Mexico. It stated that neither slavery nor involuntary servitude shall exist in any territories acquired by Mexico. Okay. How do you think that this affected history?
When was this? Do you know?
It was like 1828.
It was like right after the Mexican.
Would you read it one more time?
Yeah, it was pretty much a proposal that said that there would be no slavery or involuntary servitude in any areas.
That's interesting. Was this Mexican law or was this
No, this was
manifesto by the U.S.
Manifesto
by the U.S. to
So,
affect the Mexican.
The Mexican.
In your opinion, how do you think this affected history?
Minimal impact, especially because I've never heard of it.
Okay.
Oh, that's a very good point.
And so I'd say that just because there's a law that has a noble pursuit doesn't mean that it did any good. So
Well, it actually did push America closer to the Civil War because
okay,
it raised
before the Civil War. Okay.
questions about slavery that had not been asked before. So why do you think that this is important?
Well, now that I know that it was before the Civil War and it had that impact, obviously, talking about moral issues and bringing them to light builds whatever energy is needed politically to
Actually, ultimately led to the creation of the Republic of Spain.
Okay.
But that is, thank you. Oh, fun fact, if you were wondering, it actually was brought up in the Dred Scott case.
As well.
Okay.
All right.
The Confederate government was a government created by several southern slave states that had declared their secessions from the United States.
Because they succeeded, the Civil War began to attempt to get them back. A house divided against itself cannot stand, said Abe Lincoln.
It's important because it started the Civil War, which not only made us stronger, but it also helped to end slavery.
It did affect, certain things after the Emancipation Proclamation and things were put forward. I don't know, dude. I'm trying to sound intelligent.
No, it's okay, it's okay.
I'm so stupid. It's not funny. Hey. I just wanted to give it a hug.
Okay, go.
We do this on camera a lot, actually, to be completely honest. I can see him from here. Anywho, I don't know.
Oh, that's okay. Okay.
So you're basically asking me if I prefer
Why is it
slavery
important?
as opposed to putting... How is this different from the big one Lincoln did? I don't understand. How is this...
The Emancipation Proclamation?
Yes.
Because this was before it.
Because this is saying that the Congress cannot change any amendment
You guys
for
didn't
their
give me
own...
a year or a date or anything.
What year are you here for?
Because it's all in context. If I don't know what year
This is
was...
after the Emancipation Proclamation.
Okay, so it's basically...
You're in the library.
So it was one of the things that ended up ending segregation specifically.
No.
No. Okay, what?
Just answer. Why is it important?
Why do you think it's
Why do you think it's
Because
important?
black people have to be free too, I guess.
Answer.
Alright, it was important because the amendment, if it would have
This is
been
weird.
passed, slavery would still be allowed today. That's why
Okay,
it's
well,
important. It was a protective tariff. Dang it, okay, now you gotta start over.
Come on.
The Warren Amendment affected history because, well, oh my god.
And so, what was going on in 1876? Trade tariffs, slavery.
Yep. Well, it was after slavery.
Actually, it was like a year after slavery.
Was 76?
I don't know.
No. Well, but
I don't know.
the Civil War was in the 1860s.
Wow.
So
1865 is when
I think this was important.
Because of not all the money. Oh, I'm not allowed to say that. It's a history report.
No, for high school, yeah.
Still there. Can we censor that?
Yeah.
That'll work.
That's what After Effects is for.
Okay.
How did it affect us? So wait,
He made the First National Bank like spread out.
oh, so he. Alright, I guess it made it. I don't know, he kind of screwed us.
Alright, that works.
With banks is the reason that we have like Federal Reserves now. If there was no banks in the first place, Federal Reserve wouldn't have banks.
There we go.
Very interesting people from different countries such as Chile, China, and Turkey. And I would like to say that I think it's a little bit sad that so many people don't know what's happened in our past history, and I feel like our history teachers need to work on that a little more so that they remember later in their life. And I think it is also wonderful that some of the older folks actually put an effort into trying to answer our question.
We also met a couple stoned people.
Yes, don't ask stoners. Don't ask stoners.
AKA, don't ask anybody that Teresa knows out of school.
Exactly.
And we met.
I think it was very sweet that people were willing to participate and very cool. And now I know that if anyone ever wants me for a video, that I will be nice enough to participate, because before I wouldn't have.
And we met people who were scared of the camera.
And
Terrified.
they would have a stuttered problem.
And they had a stuttering problem.
And creepers.
Now enjoy some of our bloopers.
Yep.
Done.